Hello everyone, this is Elizabeth with Scott Leroy Marketing. In this tip video, I'm going to show you how you can add a QR code to a postcard within Command. So first you'll start in Command, which is agent.kw.com. We recommend using a Google Chrome Incognito or Mozilla Firefox private browser. Then you'll enter your username, capitalization not required. Then enter your password and click sign in. The first step to this process is actually creating a landing page so that whenever someone scans the QR code on the postcard you mail them, they'll be directed to a website. So first you'll head over to Consumer, the very last applet on the left. The icon is two web pages stacked. Then you'll go to the top right and click Create a New Page. Then you'll choose As a Landing Page and click Create Page. First step is to name this landing page. We recommend maybe using the property address, something identifying this landing page as a unique name. Then you can simply use any of the widgets on the right-hand side where you can click and hold and drag over to the bottom. So our typical layout goes branded header, lead form, listing, then legal footer. Once you have the widgets that you want, you can click Configure Widgets and go through each one, updating as you see fit. And don't forget to hit the Save and Apply to apply those changes to your workspace. You can scroll through the widgets by using the arrows in the header column there. The lead form looks good, so we'll go on to listing. Now this is where you'd click Browse Listings to find your listing either by property address, MLS number, or KWLS ID. Enter in the property address here, click Search, and select your listing from the list. Once that is selected, you'll see the information populate in that right-hand menu, where you can then select the header image. By default, it will choose the first one from the listing. You can either change that or toggle to custom image. And again, don't forget to hit Save and Apply to apply those changes to the workspace. And last but not least is the legal footer, where if anything that is pulling over from your marketing profile is incorrect or out of date, you can update here. And again, don't forget to click Save and Apply. Once you're done here, click Save Landing Page, then click Yes, Save It. This will take you back to the dashboard of Consumer, where you can toggle over two landing pages and see that draft at the very top. Now, I highly recommend going in maybe the next day, going through, making sure it all looks good to go with fresh eyes. All of the information is populating, making sure all of the fields from the legal footer are pulling in. And once you confirm everything is 100% accurate, you can publish page. then click Yes, Update It. That will again take you back to the consumer dashboard where you can toggle back over to landing pages, where you'll see the status is now toggled on or green, and the URL is available. Now by default, it's going to give a mix of letters and numbers as the URL, but you can click the three-dot menu at the far right to change URL. Now you can only change the last piece, which is the mix of letters and numbers. We recommend maybe doing the house address, then the street name, then the street type, if there's a direction in there, maybe even including the city and state. And once you're done, you'll click Create. And you'll see some examples of other landing page titles that I've used. Now you'll right-click the URL that you just updated and click Copy Link Address. Then we're going to open a new tab at the very top and go to the-qrcode-generator.com. And then in the Enter URL field, you're going to right-click and paste. Once that is pasted, you'll see the static QR code populate on the right. Now you can choose from any of these options. Scrolling along the bottom here, I'm just going to leave it as the default. And then click Download QR Code. Then I highly recommend naming this as something so you know what it is in your Downloads folder. Then click Download. Now you can go back to Command just by hitting the other tab at the very top left. Head to Designs, which is the paintbrush in a square icon. Then you'll click Create Design at the very top right. Select Print, since we're doing this for a postcard. You can also check off this Import Photos and Text from a listing to make it easier when creating the postcard. And click Continue. Now, once checking that box, you will see KWLS 2.0 pop out from the right-hand side of the screen. This is where you can type in your property address or MLS number here. And then click Select on the listing. And that will take you to the WeBrand Design Editor. From here, you can go to the Listings category and choose a category, for instance, Just Listed. Then you can narrow down these designs by clicking the gray circles at the top. So I'm looking for just a standard postcard. Then you'll choose your design. Choose Just Listed O2 postcard. Then I'm going to edit the postcard, first with the background image. So I'm going to click to select, and then I'm going to head to the KWLS panel. Under here, I'm going to search again by the property address and hit enter. And here I'm going to find my listing and click select. And we'll see all of the photos and listing details pull over from the MLS. So I'm going to find the photo that I'd like and click replace, the two arrows that form a circle. Continuing on down, I'm going to click the price, head to listing details, and simply replace. Now, if you do need to edit this, you can double click within that cell to remove anything that you don't need, add in anything, or change it up. Next, I'll select the address, find the address in the listing details, and click replace. Now this actually does not bring over the state, so I always recommend double clicking to edit and adding that in. Now for the last bit of information, you'll see that there is actually 4 different fields in here. In this case, I don't recommend replacing, but I do recommend manually updating this. Another way you can manually update is to click the typewriter icon at the very top center and manually update from the listing details on the left. Once you're done, you can click Save Changes to apply those changes to the postcard. Now you will see other formatting options at the very top. For instance, I'm going to center this text so it looks a little better on the postcard. And now I'm going to head to the back by selecting the Pages button at the very bottom right, and then click the second page and update all of this information. So first I'll select my image and replace. You can also reposition by clicking reposition at the very top and moving this around as you need. Don't forget to click done once you're done. Then moving on down, I'll select my market center name. And that is the only one that automatically selects the logos panel. And you can choose your logo that you have in your assets. Now, if that is a little too large or want to move it around, you can also use the directional keys on your keyboard. And then I'll replace my name here. Click to select, choose the text panel, go to my assets, and replace. If yours happens to populate on 2 lines, you can always resize the text field by using the bar on the right-hand side. And moving on down, I'll update this. Manually. Again, resizing if I need. Now, when selecting the rest of the information, you'll see it's the same as the front. There are actually 4 pieces of information in here. So what I'm going to do is simply replace with 1 and then duplicate and plug in the second piece of information, which I'm actually going to edit to be my office number. And I'll edit the first one. Now for aligning, you can simply click and drag until you see the blue grid lines pop up. And repeat. So just hit duplicate. This time I'm going to choose my email address. Click and drag to align. And repeat once more for my website. You can also, just as it was formatted before, put those in side by side. Like so. And now, last but not least, the QR code, you'll want to go to Images and Add. And click to upload. And then from your downloads, choose your QR code. And you'll see it start to load in the imported images. Then click Add. And it'll populate in the center of your postcard where you can then shrink that down if you need and plug that in where you would like. Now that we have our postcard created, I do recommend going ahead and saving and renaming and downloading. Now you can use the PDF for printing. If you do, we highly recommend including the bleed and downloading all pages. You can also download them individually. Then click download. Of course, if you do download individually, highly recommend going in immediately to download the second page. Another option is to download as a JPEG, which is an image. So you can choose download and then change that to either JPEG or PNG, which is the higher quality. And again, you can either select both or one at a time. And now we'll click Done to head back to Command. And head over to Campaigns. Campaigns is 2 up from Designs. It's the little megaphone icon. And we'll click Create Campaign in the top right corner. And choose Direct Mail. With this, you'll enter a campaign name, choose your goal. When in doubt, you can also choose Other, and click Create Campaign. Now from here, you can again choose the property address. Highly recommend doing this so that when we go to configure targeting, your listing will be selected. Now, if nothing is populating, you will want to change the status and the show to whatever is applicable so that you can find the listing here. And once you find the listing, you'll click Select. Now you'll see green check marks start to appear in the different steps. You can always click those to drop those down to update the individual information. So for content, Instead of select template, which is the default, I'm going to choose upload design. Here you'll see the reminders for the card sizes with height and width. And then we're going to browse for the front. So we'll insert the PDF, and you'll see it populate in the preview on the right. Then we'll insert the back. Now, if you do the image version, you do want to make sure that the pixel height and width is correct, otherwise you'll receive that red error like I just did. To resize that, you can use Pixlr, which is pixlr.com/e. Choose Open Image. Open the image that you would like to resize. Click Crop. Then go by size to edit as command requires. For a 4x6, the width is 1875 pixels and the height is 1275 pixels. Then click Apply. Then go to File, Save. And you can either save as a JPEG or PNG. And save as. I'm going to put this in my downloads and name it something different. And of course, repeat for the second side if you need. Then when you go back to Command and Browse, find that most recent download. And even though the image here is broken, the little preview, you don't get that red error message anymore. Now let's flip to the back for the preview. Again, broken image. I might want to refresh to see, to make sure that that's populating correctly. You can also remove and then start over. So I'll just upload the back of the PDF version. Don't forget to save so that that section collapses and turns green. Next section is the Market Center. Now, most of this will populate from your marketing profile, but the state and zip code never do, so you want to plug those in. I will say that you'll want to pay attention to the character limit of the name as well. It will syndicate over from your marketing profile, but it may be too long for this field here. And once that's all updated, you'll click Verify Address and confirm. Next, the targeting will already be auto-filled with the address you selected from KWLS 2.0 at the very beginning. But if this postcard is, announcing your move to Keller Williams or the like, you can also target your database. And I'll click Save to collapse that. And then move to Budget. Now, by default, the quantity is going to be 200, but you can manually edit that or use the up and down arrows as well. Now, some postcards will have different options for postage classes as well, specifically for the larger postcards. So if you would like to change the class, you would use this drop down and click Save. Now, again, highly recommend clicking Save Draft to save this campaign, this direct mail campaign. Come back to it with fresh eyes, because once you go to configure targeting, you actually will not be able to come back to this screen. But once you do move to configure targeting, your screen will look like so. where you can narrow down the list of recipients for your postcard. So if you only want to do, as many bedrooms as the listing has, a similar square footage, year built, make it a little newer, etc., etc. Now this will also change the number of homes to target, and if you come to the map, you'll see where those are. Also, highly recommend checking this box to send a copy to company address, which if you hover over the eye in a circle, it will remind you of what that is. Now, with this map function, you can also draw. So if you'd rather select a certain shape here, you can do so. Or if you'd rather use a polygon, which is a little cleaner of a way to do a shape, you can do that as well. It will also update the number of homes to target on the left-hand side, so be sure you pay attention to that count. And once you're done, you'll click Next, where you'll see the preview. You can also, and we recommend, viewing the larger preview, which opens up a new tab. You'll see the order summary here with the details on the processing, distribution, and delivery. Then you'll enter your payment information, read and agree to the terms of service, and make a payment. So that is how you can manually create a QR code, add it to a design, to your direct mail campaign. If you have any questions on this process or anything else, let us know and we'll be happy to help. Thanks for watching and have a great day.